I want the Bible and the Bible alone. But let me tell you one thing. Without having the spirit of prophecy, you won't know what John is talking about. And for protection of the book and protection of the saints, God has written in symbols and parables, so that those who are going to enter the kingdom will know. Those who are not will never guess what is going on. When we are learning about the 7 seals, the first thing is to know that what is revelation? What is being revealed? Huh? What is being revealed? The revelation is the revelation. Yeah? Something is being revealed. Now, that thing is all, I need a book. That's a book. There is a book which is wrapped in 7 seals. Yeah? You understand? And that book is wrapped in 7 seals. Now, when the first seal is taken off so that they can open the book, you understand? You take off the first seal. That first seal brings information. And that information, yeah, is pertaining to judgment of people in different ages. My sister, in different ages from the beginning of the world to the end. So the first seal should be found. The people found after opening the first seal are those who have been living on this earth initially when the earth was created. Do you understand? Now, these seals are wrapped. It's information about each generation wrapped. And when we finish opening until the 7th seal, the book is able, God is able to open the book. That's why you find in Revelation 5, it's being said, a book wrapped with 7 seals. And a question is, who can open it? And nobody could open that book except the Lion of the tribe of Judah. Amen. Christ himself. Why? Christ is able to open the seal, the book sealed with 7 seals, is because he is the one who died for the people written in the book. Yes. He is the one who created the people in the book. So he is the only one qualified to open that book. Amen. So these seals, who is opening them? Now that's why there is a blessing. The whole Revelation is the information about each generation as pertaining the 7 seals. That's why there is a blessing. Go to Revelation chapter 1 verse 3. There is a blessing given to those who are going to read this book. Revelation chapter 1 verse 3.
Verse 3.
Mm-hmm.
Blessed is he that readeth,
right,
and they that hear the words of this prophecy, and keep those things which are written therein,
right,
for the time is at hand.
Right. So what is happening is, that's why our topic on the seals is under investigative judgment. So what are the seals? What is investigative judgment? Huh? What is investigative judgment?
It's when you are looking through what has happened.
What is the judgment itself? What is it? In a short description, what is judgment itself? Let me tell you what it is. Christ knows what information he gave each generation, and who obeyed it and who didn't. Yeah? So by investigative judgment is a process of separating the saints from those who are not saints. That's what it is. When he went into the Holy of Holies in 1844, what process is it? Starts with the dead. You understand? Investigative judgment for the dead. Who received the first seal, the first message? Who received it? You see these messages when we go through the trumpets. Now we are still opening the what? The seals. You understand? So we have also 7 trumpets. They also start from the first people who lived on earth. So he knows who received what. The people of Noah's time, what did they receive? A message, isn't it? And who? There are people who received that message. And there are people who did not receive. And what happened? There was judgment. So that is the trumpet, isn't it? But now we are talking of the seals. He will go from generation to generation in investigating the judgment of the dead. Yeah? When it comes to the first investigation, who is the first one to die? Abel. That's the first death, yeah? Yeah. So we will see when we open the seals what happened. So it's an information. The first seal has to bring us to the first people who lived on earth. Yeah? Yes. 2, second seal, those who lived next. 3rd, next. 4th, next. 5th, next. 6th, next. 7th. And we are part of those 7 seals. Now let's go to Revelation 4. So that we know the investigative judgment scene first. Revelation chapter 4. And just start from 1.
Verse 1. After this I looked, and behold, a door was opened in heaven.
Right.
And the first voice which I heard was as it were of a trumpet talking with me, which said, Come up hither, and I'll show thee things which must be hereafter.
So John called to behold the scenes in heaven. Now, the door was opened. This door was not opened on earth. Huh? Was opened where? In heaven. Now, where do we find a door being opened in heaven? John lived here in about AD 96, yeah? And is being shown a door opening. So what door was opening which was future to John? 1844, the investigative judgment of the entering into the Holy of Holies. Now, that apartment in the Holy of Holies from the holy place occurred in 1844 on the Day of Atonement. So this door is open so that he beholds what is inside.
Yes.
Now, what did he see?
After this I looked, and behold, a door was opened in heaven. And the first voice which I heard was as it were of a trumpet talking with me, which said, Come up hither, and I'll show thee things which must be hereafter.
Right?
And immediately I was in the spirit, and behold, a throne was set in heaven.
Right.
And
You
one
see,
sat on the throne.
he is seeing, why do we say it's investigative judgment throne? We saw it in Daniel. Yeah? Go to Daniel chapter 7, verse 9. John is now nearer the scene of the investigative judgment. You understand? While Daniel was still in Babylon, isn't it? Now, John is AD 96. Daniel is 537 BC, before Christ, isn't it? He was seeing also the same scene which John was seeing. Let's go to Daniel 7, verse 9.
Verse 9.
Uh-huh.
I beheld till the thrones were cast down.
Right?
And the Ancient of Days did sit.
Did Daniel and John see the same thing?
Yes.
What did John see in chapter 4, verse 2?
He saw a throne being set up.
Yeah?
He saw a throne.
And what?
And the Ancient of Days did sit.
Do you see both of them saw thrones?
Yes.
And both of them saw the Ancient of Days. Yes. Now, we saw it in Daniel chapter 7, verse 9, that it was the judgment scene. So that's why I'm saying this door was opened in 1844. Why? Because the same scene that John is seeing is the same scene that was seen by Daniel. And he says a door is opened. It's opening the door to see the judgment scene, which Daniel saw. Right? And also go to Revelation chapter 20, verse 4. Did John see also thrones? Because Here Daniel says thrones were set, yeah? And the Ancient of Days did sit, yeah? But did John see, we saw in Revelation chapter 4, verse 2, that he saw the Ancient of Days, yeah? But did he see the thrones? Chapter 20, verse 4.
Verse 4.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw thrones, and they sat upon them,
Right?
and judgment was given unto them.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Jesus
Right.
and for the word of God.
So, do you see the same throne now? John is seeing. What does he see? What's the difference between what John saw and what Daniel saw? Go back to what Daniel saw. Now, go to Daniel chapter 9. Chapter 7, verse 9.
Verse 9.
Uh-huh.
I beheld till the thrones were cast down,
Right?
and the Ancient of Days did sit, whose garment was white as snow.
Did you
and
see-
the hair of his head
Yeah?
like the pure. His throne was like a fiery flame, and his wheels as burning fire.
Now, did Daniel see the people who were beheaded?
No.
But he saw the thrones. He saw the Ancient of Days. Now, John, who lived nearer to 1844, go to Revelation 20, verse 4. What exactly is he seeing? We want to analyze the judgment scene so that we can now know when they start opening the book, what transpires. Uh-huh.
Verse 4.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw thrones,
Right?
and they sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Jesus.
Now, John
And for the
is
word of
being
God.
is being shown what is further to in the judgment scene. What is being decided? He saw the souls of those who were beheaded, who were persecuted for the truth. He saw them. Whereas Daniel didn't see those. But he saw thrones, he saw the Ancient of Days, and now John is further clarifying. If both guys were here today, and Daniel says, I saw thrones and the Ancient of Days. Now you are the disciples for Daniel, isn't it? And then you hear John also saying, I saw thrones, and I also saw the Ancient of Days, and I also saw those who were beheaded for the truth. I think the disciples will have a problem there, isn't it? Now, what is it teaching us? The prophet who sees first has information.
Yes.
But those who live nearer the incident have more information than the first. Now, if you cling to the prophet who has died, and God raises a prophet who is living, who could even further clarify what that prophet did, you will have problems. This is why people have. That's why they're asking. Sister White had a full chapter on annual feast, isn't it? But did she go to Jerusalem to keep the feast? Now, those who live in the last days have a full chapter of the feasts, and also now start keeping it, and also know where to keep it in Jerusalem. Now, where is your problem? Do you see these are two prophets? Yes. One is saying, yes, the feast should be kept. And the next one, who lives nearer the judgment scene, says, let's keep it. And let's actually keep it where it's supposed to be kept. And then those who read Sister White's book will say, no, we keep the feast, but we don't go to Jerusalem. And the ones who live nearer, close to the judgment, to the end of probation, say, we keep it in Jerusalem. You see where people are having problems? Yes. People are having problems. But you see, John is saying something in addition to what Daniel didn't say. Huh? You understand that? Yes. Why is it that Sister White didn't mention it? She's in the grave, my dear. But still the mouth of God continues to talk with those who are nearer the sin. Yes. You see what happens? Yes. Now, let's see also what happened. We are saying that incident is still the same. Thrones are being seen, the Ancient of Days, but the one who lived further to the end saw even the what? Let's see another scenario. Let's go to Daniel chapter 7, verse 10. A fiery stream issued.
A fiery stream issued and came forth from before him. Thousands thousands ministered unto him, and 10,000 times 10,000 stood before him.
Right.
The judgment was set and the books were opened.
So there was a fiery stream which was seen by Daniel, isn't it? Let's go to what John saw. First start from Revelation 4, verse 6.
Verse 6.
Mm-hmm.
And before the throne, there was a sea of glass like
You
unto
see what Daniel is saying? Daniel says he is looking from 537 BC and sees this stream. He says it's a fiery what?
Stream.
And what does John say?
It says it's a sea of glass.
Huh?
And before the throne,
Right.
there was a sea of glass like unto
These are two prophets. And Daniel is saying, I saw a fiery stream. On that judgment scene, I saw a fiery stream. And John says, what do I see? A sea of glass. But they're all seeing one thing. Yeah? Now this one is seeing a sea of glass. Now, Daniel is saying a fiery stream issued and came from before him, isn't it? Now, let's go again to Revelation 15, verse 2. It's further to John. John is seeing further to modify what this sea of glass looks like.
And I saw as it were a sea of glass mingled with fire.
Right? You see what he's saying? Did Daniel mention the fire? So you can see the same thing. God has shown Daniel, and he has even shown more to it to John. If the disciples were there, we would say, no, you disciples of Daniel, you are saying if you are this team. And then the disciples of John will say, we saw even it was mingled with fire. Then what will the disciples of Daniel say? Error. You see why people are termed error? Because the previous prophet didn't mention it. So those who are now, so that's why it is wrong to form creeds in worshiping. Because you form creeds pertaining to what that prophet has mentioned, isn't it? But when it goes further and it's not in your creed, you have a problem. You are stuck. That's why people are stuck in creeds. They cannot progress. Says our church policy doesn't have it, isn't it? You are stuck because you are not progressing. Your policy you made according to what that prophet said. But the further one who lives nearer the end will have lots of exposition to the same incident. Huh? Now he is saying, what is he saying? Verse 2, have you finished it?
And I saw as it were a sea of glass mingled with fire, and them that had gotten the victory over the beast, and over his image, and over his mark, and
What
over
is
the
John?
number of his name.
What is John being shown now? Not only a fiery stream,
No,
not only a sea of glass.
no.
He is further saying there is fire, mingled with fire, yeah? And what else did he see? Those who had conquered the beast, those who had gotten victory over the beast were there. He's seeing people also on the sea of glass. You see, you can have two prophets describing a same scenario differently.
Yes.
And those who are stuck with one prophet will say the next one is in error. Error, error, error. Sister, why didn't say it? Huh? Really? They could have said that. In John's time, they could have said, Daniel didn't mention sea of glass. Daniel said, fiery stream.
Yes.
They could have said, Daniel didn't even mention fire. And John will say, I even saw people who had gotten victory over the beast. Oh, that's error, error. Once you don't mention what the previous prophet mentioned, you are in error. But look, John was not in error. He was being shown further too. Yeah? Sister White, back in 1844, will tell you that do not call the church Babylon.
Yes.
It will never be Babylon in any period. Do you know why? It hadn't rejected the 1888 message. Before before rejecting, before a child fails grade 7, can you say he's a dull child?
No.
After failing, then you say he's dull. Isn't it? Can you start by you are sending your child for the first time to school, huh? And then someone is saying that is a dull child before the child is tested, huh? Ringanzidofo here sati rafoira nayedu. Ranisani radofo. Muri kuwisisa here. Roita dofo kana radofora. Rafoira. Do you understand? Now we know in black and white, go to selected message, first volume, 232. 1888 message was rejected.
Yes.
Pooh! Udofo wakaitwa inema here. And then now, the same falling, which was done in 1888, was done even those 4 churches who reformed. When William Miller preached to them the first angel's message, they refused, isn't it? They fell. Now here we are seeing also messengers sent by God, 1888. 80 Johns and Wagona, sent to say, keep now the moral law together with the ceremonial law. And they were utterly rejected at Minneapolis. So did we fall? We did. If other churches in 1333 with William Miller, they failed by rejecting a heaven-sent message, did we reject a heaven-sent message?
Yes.
The proof is there. Yeah? We can't stick to what the previous messenger said. We have to move on with the scroll. Yes. That's what they did with Daniel. The previous message said fiery stream issued. But with John, the fiery stream has now changed to a sea of glass. And now instead, there is even the Ancient of Days which was seen by Daniel, but further to it, there is those who had gotten victory over the mark of the beast. You see how things are arranged by God. Alas, those who stick to, that's why Christ said when he came, he was rejected, isn't it? And why were they rejecting? Because they were saying Moses didn't say so. And he says, "Oh, unto you Pharisees, you paint the tombs of the dead prophets and decorate them as if you loved them, and reject, and you kill the living. Those who are current, you what? You kill them." This is always the problem. So let's go to the seals. Let's see here on Daniel 7:13. Right. Let's say to Daniel 7, verse 13. Mm-hmm.
And I saw in the night visions, and behold, one like the Son of Man came with the clouds of heaven, and came to the Ancient of Days, and they brought him near before him.
Right.
And there was given him dominion, and glory, and a kingdom.
So Daniel saw the Son of Man being brought into the judgment scene. Now let's see with Revelation. John see the same scenario, Revelation 5, verse 6, in the judgment scene.
Verse 6.
Uh-huh.
And I beheld, and lo,
Right.
in the midst of the throne,
Yeah.
and of the 4 beasts, and in the midst of the elders, stood a lamb as it had been slain.
Right.
Heavens.
So both of them are talking about Christ, isn't it?
Yes.
Daniel is seeing Christ being brought in front of the Ancient of Days. And here, Revelation, John is also seeing the Son of Man called the Lamb. Yeah? Yeah?
Yes.
And also, what did he see? 4 beasts stood. The lamp was in the midst of 4 beasts. Did Daniel see the 4 beasts? But John saw the 4 beasts, additional to what Daniel didn't see. Huh?
Yes.
Now, it's interesting, isn't it?
Yes.
It's interesting.
This time Isaiah saw swift beasts taking people to Israel. Now we see EasyJet taking people to Israel.
Right?
What's the difference?
Yeah, in Isaiah chapter 66,
20.
verse 20, it says, they were given swift beasts transport going to, right. And here what are we seeing? Planes. Are these the swift beasts that Isaiah was seeing? Because Isaiah was very far away. But what he saw in the midst, in the universe, what was he seeing? A plane, which looked like a beast. And it was very swift. So he says, a swift beast. But what are we seeing right now? Planes, aeroplanes. So we have a better understanding now than John. Better understanding than those who lived before. We have a better understanding than Sister White who lived before. The reason why she died, God will raise the next one who will tell us in more details.
Same as Naomi says, I saw chariots.
Yes. Torches and chariots.
What she did,
And we are living in the times when Naomi was saying it's torches and chariots, but we are living in the time where these torches are. We are seeing cars, BMWs, Range Rovers, whatever. We know even their names. Corsa, we know. Lavara, we know. But Naomi was saying these were chariots with the torches. Some were colliding, some were what? He was being shown. She was being shown far. But we are now saying, no, they were not chariots. There are BMWs. There are shoeshine bus. There are city, whatever, Chawasariras. They were seeing them as chariots. It's interesting. That the prophecy is interesting. Now, you come and tell me what Sister White said before. You know, there was a time in the quotations where she approved people to eat pork. Yes? It was before the light was what? Shed. And she actually answered that yes, it's good to eat pork. But at the end, did she approve eating pork? No. She's actually even saying, don't eat any meat, no flesh. You see how the scroll is so progressive, and if you don't progress with it, you will be playing two ways here. A trumpet with a certain sound. Now, we are seeing here Daniel. Let's see, what else did he see? Daniel 7, verse 10.
Verse 10.
Mm-hmm.
A fierce stream issued and came forth from before him.
Right?
Thousands ministered unto him.
Mm-hmm.
And 10,000 times 10,000 stood before him.
Mm-hmm.
The judgment was set and the books were opened.
Did he see books? Let's go to Revelation and see. Did John also see books? Go to Revelation 20, verse 12. Yeah?
Verse 12.
Verse 12.
And I saw the dead, small and great,
Mm-hmm.
stand before God,
Mm-hmm.
and the books were opened.
Did John see books
Yes.
on the judgment scene? Right. Let's go to Revelation 5, verse 11.
Verse 11.
This is how you should be reading Daniel and Revelation, comparing verses. Uh-huh.
And I beheld, and I heard the voice of many angels round about the throne, and the beast and the elders. And the number of them was 10,000 times 10,000 and thousands of thousands,
Mm-hmm.
saying with a loud voice,
Now,
"Worthy is the Lamb."
That John, did he see angels also? 10,000 and times. Go to Revelation, to Daniel 7. Did Daniel also see the angels?
Yes.
Yeah. Which verse? 10.
Verse 10. A fierce stream issued and came forth from before him.
Mm-hmm.
Thousands ministered unto him.
Did they see angels? Both of them. You see, it's still the same scenario, isn't it? And Revelation 14, verse 7. So we are seeing Daniel has seen judgment is being set and books were opened. And now we are seeing Revelation, because Daniel is saying it's judgment which was set, isn't it? Now, do you want to see whether John saw judgment being set?
Verse 7.
Verse 7.
Saying with a loud voice,
Mm.
Fear God and give glory to him. For the hour of his judgment is come.
Did you see judgment?
Yeah.
Right? You can go on and see how nice this chapter is. Anyway, let's go to Revelation 5, verse 1. The first thing we should remember when we are opening these 7 seals, Revelation 5, verse 1.
Verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw in the right hand of him that sat on the throne
Mm-hmm.
a book written within and on the backside, sealed with 7 seals.
So this is the book which has been sealed with what?
7 seals.
7 seals. Yeah. 6 verse 1. We already explained about this book with 7 seals. Now we start to open the seals. Yeah? Now, open the first one in verse 1.
Verse 1.
Mm.
And I saw when the Lamb opened one of the seals,
Mm-hmm.
and I heard, as it were the noise of thunder,
Mm-hmm.
one of the 4 beasts saying,
Mm.
Come and see.
Mm.
And I saw and behold a white horse,
Mhm.
and he that sat on him had a bow,
Mm.
and a crown was given unto him, and he went forth conquering and to conquer.
Right. That's verse 2. Yeah?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Go to verse 4.
Verse 4.
Mm-hmm.
And there went out another horse
Mm-hmm.
that was red,
Mm-hmm.
and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth,
Mm-hmm.
and that they should kill one another.
Mhm.
And there was given unto him a great sword.
Verse 5.
Verse 5.
Mm-hmm.
And when he had opened the third seal,
Mm.
I heard the third beast say,
Mm.
Come and see.
Mhm.
And I beheld, and lo, a black horse,
Mm.
and he that sat on him had a pair of balances in his hand.
Mm-hmm.
And I heard a voice in the midst of the 4 beasts say,
Mm.
A measure of wheat for a penny,
Mhm.
and 3 measures of barley for a penny.
Mhm.
And see thou had not the oil and the wine.
Right. Verse 8.
Verse 8.
Mm-hmm.
And I beheld, and I looked, and behold, a pale horse,
Mm.
and his name that sat on him was Death,
Mm-hmm.
and hell followed him.
Mm.
And power was given unto them over the 4th part of the earth
Mhm.
to kill with the sword,
Right.
and with hunger, and with death, and with the beasts of the earth.
And verse 9.
Verse 9.
Mm-hmm.
And when he had opened the 5th seal,
Mm.
I saw under the altar the souls of them that were slain for the word of God,
Mm-hmm.
and for the testimony which they held.
Mm-hmm.
And they cried with a loud voice, saying, How long, O Lord, holy and true, dost thou not judge and avenge our blood on them that do dwell on the earth?
Mm-hmm. Verse 11.
And white robes were given unto every one of them.
Mm.
And it was said unto them,
Mm.
that they should rest yet for a little season,
Mhm.
until their fellow servants also and their brethren that should be killed as they were should be fulfilled.
Right. Verse 12.
And I looked when he had opened the 6th seal,
Mm.
and lo, there was a great earthquake,
Mm-hmm.
and the sun became black as sackcloth of hair,
Mhm.
and the moon became as blood,
Mm-hmm.
and the stars of heaven fell unto the earth, even as a fig tree casteth her untimely figs,
Mhm.
when she is shaken off, when she is shaken off a mighty wind.
Mm-hmm. Now, verse 17.
For the great day of his wrath is come,
Mm.
and who shall be able to stand?
Mm-hmm. Verse, chapter 8.
Oh, this one.
Mm-hmm.
And when he had opened the 7th seal,
Mm-hmm.
there was silence in heaven,
Right.
about the space of half an hour.
Right. Finish. 7 seals gone. Now, without any interpretation of this, you can't know what John is talking about. We have finished the Bible. There's someone who say, I want the Bible and the Bible alone. But let me tell you one thing. Without having the spirit of prophecy, you won't know what John is talking about. And for protection of the book and protection of the saints, God has written in symbols and parables, so that those who are going to enter the kingdom will know. Those who are not will never guess what is going on. Yeah? So that's why there is a blessing in those who read and understand. Let's start from the first seal, right? Chapter 6. So in a way, when we finish all the 7 seals, we should be able to write in a very short sentence what happened from the beginning to the end. including our period. Yeah? Just to write it as simple as that. God could have done that, isn't it? But he wrote it in symbols. Why was he using symbols? To protect the Bible. Yeah, to protect the Bible. If you say, instead of mentioning the name of a person, he says beast. Yeah? You know, protecting the Bible. If he wrote the name, the person was going to slit he write in symbols so that there is protection. Yeah? Right?
Chapter 6. Verse 1.
Right?
And I saw when the Lamb opened one of the seals, and I heard as it were the noise of thunder. One of the four beasts saying, Come and see.
Right?
And I saw and behold a white horse, and he that sat on him had a bow, and a crown was given unto him, that he went forth conquering and to conquer.
This is the white horse. Now, what are you noticing from these four horses? There is a white horse, there is the next one, red one, there is a black one, and there is a pale one. You know, these are horses, these are colors that have been used. So it only shows how the knowledge about God depreciated from the minds of people. From the white horse, these are righteous people. And next, what was it that caused the people to run away from God? Until we have a black horse, and now we have a pale, which want to pretend to worship, and it doesn't even worship. That's a mixture of. We saw when we studied about the beast in Daniel 7. Is it Daniel 7? Where we saw a nondescript beast. Yes. You can't even call it any. You can't call it by any name of any beast. Now we still have a pale horse there. Do you see where the pale horse is? It's exactly where the nondescript was. Yeah. You see that? Yeah. Now let's start now from the white one. When in the beginning of the world, God created a pair, Adam and Eve. Yeah? Yes. What was the situation in the Garden of Eden? Was it a defiled garden, or it was a pure one, righteous situation? God has made it as a white horse. There was purity. This earth enjoyed purity just in the whole universe. That is the only period the earth was pure. When Adam and Eve had not sinned, that's the only period the earth enjoyed the purity. And God put all that symbolism as a white beast. And there is a rider there who is on top of the white. Who can the rider be? Adam. Yeah? Now, he had a message. Adam had a message. Go to Revelation, to Genesis chapter 1, verse 28. Actually, let's see when he was being created. Chapter 1, verse 26. He had a message. Verse 26. Is he being created? For sure. Because there are some who say he wasn't created. He came from an ant or whatever. No, he was created. Right. Verse 26.
And God said, let us make man in our image.
Do you see he was created?
After our likeness.
Get it from the Bible. He was created. Let us make man. If you are religious, there he was created. Let us make man in our image. Yeah? He has been created after our likeness.
And let them have dominion
right?
over the fish of the sea.
Right.
And over the fowl
Wait. You see? This king has been created. That's a king. Yes. Because you can see he has been given authority. Yes. Dominion. Yes. He had dominion over what?
And let them have dominion over the fish of the sea.
You see?
And over the fowl of the air.
Yes.
And over the cattle.
Yes.
And over all the earth.
Yes.
And over every creeping thing that
right.
creepeth upon the earth.
Do you see he has been given all animals? Yes. And he is the one who named them. This is a cow, this is a donkey, this is a what. He was given dominion over all these creatures. But he was not given dominion to eat them, but to protect them. Yeah. There was no meat eaten by this man. No. He was someone will say, I've got a farm of animals, of all cows and the goats and what. You are telling me not to eat meat. What do I do with these cows and with these? I've got a big farm. Someone took me it's a lady, to a farm and said, I've got a ranch here. On that month, I do a harvest for the cattle, harvest for the chickens, harvest. So I said, harvest, what do you mean? Killing them. So actually that person was haunted because when she was about to kill a chicken, they were all in a queue to be killed. That's the harvest. And that person was haunted by the other chicken, which knew that it was going to be the next one to be killed. And she said to me, the chicken kept on looking direct into my eye, as if pleading with me to say, no, don't do that to me. So she said the chicken was grabbed, was killed, but the eye continued to look at her. So when I visited this lady, she said, I'm haunted until today by that eye. Does it mean that these chickens, they feel as human beings? I said, they do. There is a relationship between a man and an animal. Those who stay with animals, they can tell you that there is a very proper relationship. The animals look at men as friends. Some jump when they hear your voice. Some, they think this one is going to look after us. But in a minute, they see the very owner with a very big knife to slaughter them. How would you feel? Somebody who has been caring for you. Somebody who has been giving you food every time. Keep. They are jumping for food. You give animal. But what was the motive of feeding us? What was it? To kill us and eat us. Adam was given dominion over the animals, to look after them. He says, what do I do with these animals when you say we don't eat them? I said, look after them. Look after them. When they die, go and dig a hole and bury them. Look after them. Yeah? Is it what? Are we the same as Adam? Are we the same as Adam? Did you hear the verse saying he was given dominion? And there's a verse that he says, when you are at your home, you make I don't know what you call it, but a bowl and put some water outside. What are you putting them for? For the birds. When they pass through your home, they drink from the bowl, isn't it? Yeah. God increases your days for that. Amen. There's a verse which says so. Yes. Looking after animals, what do you get from God? Length of days. Because you are caring for the animals. Amen. Yeah, you're caring for the animals. I saw sometime when I was driving, cars were in a queue. There was a traffic jam. People were wondering what has happened. Do you know what had happened? The first car had seen doves walking in pairs, crossing the road, and stopped. Would you stop? Yes. Would you? Yes. Would you stop? Yes. There are people who, instead of stopping, will hit them and take them and go and eat them. Now, Adam was given to look after animals. I have seen even in the world, have societies which are looking after animals. These are doing a good job. It's designed by God to look after animals. You have to care for the animal. What do you do when you see a snake? Hey, where is the stick? Oh! By killing one snake, you think you have finished all of them. Eh? By killing one snake, you think you have finished all. What are you doing killing a snake? It's got life as well. You are taking life out of an animal. You are taking life out of the life was given by God. We are not supposed to take life. You see an ant coming. What do you do with your shoe? Would somebody do that to you? Huh? We have a duty to look after cats. We have a duty to look after dogs. We have a duty to look after birds. We have a duty to look after cows. It's a duty which Adam was given. He had a job to do, isn't it? Repeat that verse so we can understand it clearly. We are given length of days by doing that noble job. Not always you think an animal is for your teeth only. No. You shouldn't have them. When you have bed bugs, it's God who saw that you are lazy and has given you a job to do. When you don't do any job, you find you have the lice, you have the bed bugs, so that you start doing something. Right? That verse.
And God said, let us make man in our image,
Right.
in our likeness,
Right?
and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea,
You see?
and over the fowl of the air,
You see?
and over the cattle,
Right?
over all the earth,
Right.
and over every creeping thing.
Let them look
that
after.
creepeth upon the earth.
Let them look after all that. Isn't it? That's a noble job. Now let's go to verse 28. He was given also a message. What message did Adam have?
And supply,
Uh-huh.
and replenish the earth.
Now
and
you saw
subdue
this man is on a white horse. What was he given? Go to Revelation chapter 6, verse 2. What was Adam given? We have seen that he has a message of what? Replenishing the earth. To multiply. He has a good job. Huh?
Yes.
What job does he have?
To replenish the earth.
Yeah.
The children.
Do you see that? Do you think you've got a job? Men, do you have a job?
Oh, yes.
Do you have a job? I've seen people who are stuck here. They can't do a job. They have 2 children. They say they are fine. But Adam was given a job by God to replenish the earth. That's the very first thing. Verse 28 says so.
Yeah, sure.
And I watch people. I have 7 children. I've done my job.
Replenished.
I've replenished the earth. Replenished. It is a message to Adam. Multiply and replenish Would you say you obeyed that job? That good call from God. Would you say, I don't like children. I don't like children. But Adam was given a job. Multiply and replenish the earth. The proper way, not the wrong way. Multiply the right way. Don't tell me, now today you have allowed us to multiply and you go every way multiplying. No! The job was to multiply and replenish the earth with one wife, a proper marriage. A proper marriage. Don't go about saying we have been told the job is to replenish the earth. No. Now, let's hear what he was given to do that job. What was Adam given to do that job, right?
And I saw and behold, the
Right?
white horse,
Yeah?
and he that sat on him had a bow, and a crown was given unto him, and he went forth conquering and to conquer.
What was Adam given? A bow. Do you see he has got a bow there? So what would he need to multiply and replenish the earth? He needed Eve. And Eve is the bow. You can't multiply without a woman. He was given a wife to multiply and replenish the earth. That's the bow. That's the first seal. And when that seal started with Adam, it goes throughout the whole entire period of the earth. Until the end, we are seeing people marrying, multiplying. They're doing a good job. Marrying, multiplying, and replenishing. They are obeying the call. Marrying, it started with Adam. Multiply and replenish the earth. Multiply and replenish. So when you say, I'm now grown up, I need to marry, I need to what? We know you are doing a good job. You have a good call. That call was for Adam first, and it's still people are still being called to multiply. And if the first people said, no, we want to obey this call, would we have the earth right now? So the first seal is a white horse. Adam given Eve to multiply and replenish the earth. to have dominion over the fish. These are the king, the first king and first queen we had on earth. They were rulers, yeah, to rule the whole earth and have dominion over the whole earth, yeah, right. So let's go to the next seal, second seal.
Verse 3. And when he had opened the second seal,
Right.
I heard the second beast say,
Mm.
Come and see.
Mm.
And there went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth.
Right. So you see the next one. The next one is what? A red horse. But look at the rider. What is the rider having? Read.
And when he had opened the second seal, I heard the second beast say,
Eh.
Come and see.
Eh.
And there went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth.
You
and
see
that they
this?
should kill one another.
This one is having a what? A sword. But the color of the horse is red. What is red denoting? Blood. You understand? So when Adam obeyed the call to multiply and replenish the earth, next thing is, what are we expecting? We are expecting people, when people are many, what happens? Nations start. Nations start because people are now many. They have to stay in places, in divided places, boundaries, borders started. And when borders started and different nation, what is the next thing? Wars start, isn't it? That's why the horse is red for bloodshed. The first bloodshed was done to Abel. You know, Abel was killed. And next, the nations, they started fighting war against war, isn't it? And we saw the first destruction of the people in Noah's time. Yeah? You see Noah's time? That's bloodshed, isn't it? The whole universe, except 8 people, survived, did it? So that horse is appropriate color. It's red. That's the second horse. The second seal. Right? Let's see the next one.
And when he had opened the third seal, I heard the third beast say, Come and see.
Come and see.
And I beheld,
Eh.
and lo, a black horse.
Now
And
it's
he that
black.
sat on him.
The color is black, is dark. Look at this. What is the rider having?
And he that sat on him
Yeah.
had a pair of balances in his
Pair of balances. When you see balances, what are you seeing?
hand.
Now, the first thing you need to trade was they introduced the alphabet. Phoenicians, you remember Tyre and Sidon? They were selling all the special garments, purple. That was coming into place now of trade. They were now trading. Yeah? Now, balances are what you need when you are trading, isn't it? So this rider but look at the color of the horse. It's black, meaning when you start business, be careful, you can slide spiritually. Slide if your balances are not correct, yeah? It's not a really wise thing to do. You can have businesses, that's fine. But you have got to be very, very careful because that's where you start to slide, yeah? When you are trading, there's a lot of dishonesty sometimes and deception and measurements of wrong measurements so that you gain. And listen to the warning.
And I heard a voice in the midst of the 4 beasts say, A measure of wheat for a penny, and 3 measures of barley for a penny. And see thou, hate not the oil and the wine.
Did you hear that? Hate not the what?
Oil.
And the what? The oil is a representative of the Holy Spirit.
Yes.
Hate not the oil, and the wine is a representative. It means the doctrines. Hate not. You see, people, because of the love of money, they start to hate the yeah. So sometimes because we need to break it, we need money, we start even breaking the Sabbath. It's the wine that you are. Yeah. See thou.
The oil and the wine. See thou, hate not the oil and the wine.
You see? Once money is introduced, the very first thing which is in trouble is the oil and the wine. Yeah? The oil. Why do you think people went into this black horse? It's the money. Engrossed in business. And the transactions, if they are not pure, you slide easily into wrong habits, and next you are gone. Yeah?
Thank you for watching. We also have more prophecies in the books of Zechariah 4 and 6, Daniel 2, the image of Nebuchadnezzar, Daniel 7, the 4 great beasts, and many more. You can find us on our Facebook page, BSM TV, and on our YouTube channel, BSM TV. You can email us on sealingmessage@gmail.com. Have a blessed day.